You didn't see anything. So what's your opinion on guns in Minecraft? Because today we're diving into Mr. Crayfish's gun mod, and we should hopefully be able to reach brass today. Welcome back to some more SteamPunk. And where we left off last episode, I was working on getting some basic mechanics set up with Create, and today I really want to dive into a couple of different mods that are in here as we work our way towards brass, which we're going to do in a very interesting way. First things first, however, I want to dabble a little bit into the Mr. Crayfish's gun mod. And guns are going to be a pretty important part of this pack, I think. It is going to be a very, very powerful weapon for us as we continue our adventures. Because as of right now, we've just been using swords. Very, very primitive. So how about we get a little bit steampunk? And some parts of steampunk, well, involve classic weaponry. Now, to make this station, in order to start crafting some of these interesting weapons, I'm going to need some gray concrete. And that means taking out some of these guys. So we should be able to get some black dye, hopefully, from this. Now, even the process of getting ink seems pretty interesting because we need to get into the Farmer's Delight mod just a little bit. To get into Farmer's Delight, I just need a cutting board and a knife. And here we go. So I'm going to place my cutting board right here for right now, and we place the squid onto the cutting board, apparently, or the tentacles. One of these get placed onto the cutting board, right? It shows cutting board, squid, and we end up getting ink sacs and raw calamari. However, I have to get them onto here, and I think I have to take my shield out in order to do this. There we go. Now I can place it on here, and perfect. Look at that. We're now chopping up some squid, and we get ourselves some ink sacs, which I can use to make some black dye very quickly. Now, some other ways to get black dye, you can actually grind up in a millstone. You can grind up some resources like coal and charcoal in order to get the black dye. Isn't it always funny? I wish I could just like toss it in the water and it works. I know Create has a way of doing it, but yeah, this is going to have to work for right now until we get our Create fans all set up. But in reality, I only need 3 of the light gray concretes in order for us to make the gun crafting table. Oh, and by the way, these knives are actually really handy. We can actually use them to get more resources off of the regular mobs we kill. For example, it has a higher chance of giving you leather from cows. So let's get to crafting some guns. This right here is the workbench. And is one of the major ways that we can go ahead and craft this. I gotta figure out though where I want to put this. You know what? How about right here for now? Oh, I actually expected that to be a lot bigger than it is. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. We have our choices of different weapons right here and the required ingredients in order to craft those things. And it looks like we have the ability to maybe color the weapon as well. That is pretty cool. So we can actually make some, we can make some different bullets. I guess all of the guns require different bullets as well. Now, I think getting started for me, I just want to make the regulator pistol. This one looks like it holds 16 ammo, which is really nice, and then does 9 damage. It's only going to cost 14 iron, and it uses regular bullets, which are pretty cheap. Now, it seems like out of all of the guns I can craft, this one is probably the most tame. Uh-oh. And it looks like perfect timing. I just hit a symbol. Okay. Is that actually crafting the gun? Oh, it did right here. Oh, shoot. Okay, we are under attack right now, so I do need to craft some bullets. Oh, come on. I just need regular bullets. These guys are going to kill me. I need regular ones, not advanced. Oh, it's so hard to navigate this. Probably would be easier if I wasn't under fire right now. Basic, heavy. Okay, where are the regular ones? Okay, here they are. Okay, so they require copper. This guy's just going to end up damaging my materials. Oh, come on. Okay, I think I would have tested out on him. All right, let's go back here. And I think basic bullets. Okay, so nothing we need to worry about. We just need to craft. I'll craft again and craft again. Okay, so now we have some basic bullets. I think I hit R to reload. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then we aim and fire. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. That actually feels pretty good. Okay, that's interesting. And then I have my milk to get rid of that awful effect. Okay, we ended up getting as a quest reward. But that's pretty cool. It like aims, you can see how much ammo you have. It does have some like draw speed. That's pretty cool. And the like way it like slows down your aim speed is pretty neat. That is sick. Okay, I guess all of my days in Call of Duty, sorry, I'm aiming this at you. All of my days in Call of Duty have actually paid off. The reload animation, though. That's funny. Now, I really wish if you went into F5, it actually pointed the gun up, not like straight at the camera. But if I hit the key, I've assigned it to F7 just for, or to my numpad 7. I can actually add like a scope, a barrel, and a stock. All of these things are going to help, and I think the best sort of attachments that I've seen was potentially adding a Nixie sight, which just requires amethyst, some redstone, and an iron nugget, and then a specialized grip. I don't know if I can put a grip on this gun, but I might be able to put a light grip on this, which would actually be really nice. Now, I think this is pretty cool. Now, I don't know if my gun changed colors by adding a dye to it, but still, I think I have the ability over here to make the, was it the grip? The regular grip. Yeah, the light grip. That should be perfect. So now both of these things are ready to go, and we should be able to equip this. Can I not equip a light to the stock? Okay, I can't on this particular weapon. It doesn't seem like this one actually fits on here, unfortunately. I think this will also be helpful, making a ammo pouch. And then do we combine the ammo with it? Oh, wait, the ammo comes out of here. It automatically consumes, I think, the ammo. Okay, so there should be so much in here. I don't know how many is actually in this pouch, though, which is kind of unfortunate. But let's see. If I toss these out, can I still reload? By the way, this is that attachment. Oh, that is so nice. Okay, and then I reload. I don't have any ammo, so how does the actual ammo pouch work? Did this just like make a pouch of ammo and just waste leather? Okay, interesting. So I guess I just need to keep the bullets kind of stored here in my sidebar for right now and just make sure I have some kind of like an arrow. That red dot sight though is so cool. There is a red dot in the center with a Nixie tube that is on top, which actually helps my draw speed, which means it's a bit faster moving in. This is going to be so nice compared to using a bow. So we have one more guy over here. Let's test this out. Let's just absolutely unload. It can shoot so fast. That is amazing. So I guess I kind of get the idea of the ammo pouches. They hold 64 ammo, and then you can stack the bags in a single inventory slot, and then you can pull the items back out of the pouch. However, it does cost 4 leather each time you do those ammo pouches. Now, I'm sure as we move along, we will end up making much more powerful guns. This one's actually not too bad, though, and surprisingly not actually on the list of guns that are part of the quest for this, which is kind of interesting. There's like this gun was apparently not any on the list, and I thought out of all of the guns that I was looking at, this one seemed the most practical, at least at our current stage, meaning that it holds 16 bullets, which is quite a bit, does 9 damage, which seems pretty reasonable, and outside of that, that's all I really knew. But those 2 factors alone seemed pretty reasonable. Now, something that you might also want to know about this is, how does the like bullets track? Can you actually see the holes going in the ground? You can. Oh, that is so cool. And so this would kind of give us an idea of like how this like sort of spreads. I am just firing and we can see that it is changing directions and like hitting different locations. Definitely the spread is moving forwards and to the right, it looks like. So if I was to just fire this very quickly, you can see the recoil as it just goes up. So yeah, we'll definitely have to compensate for recoil, but that seems like it's not too hard to do. And even looking at the enchants for this, like quick hands We have our perks from like Call of Duty in here. Quick hands, we have our trigger finger, lightweight. I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff. Overcapacity. Okay. Reclaimed that. Oh, bullets don't get consumed. That'd be kind of nice. Accelerate, increase the speed of the bullets. Creates a chance the bullets will deal a critical damage. That's pretty cool. Okay. These will set entities on fire, blocks and entities on fire with the fire starter one. So now that we got the awesome weapons out of the way, let's take a look at how I can actually get into brass without actually going to the nether. Now, getting into brass in the create mod is a major milestone in this mod and really unlocks tons of possibilities and unlocks all kinds of craziness that you can do, fully unlocking the mod basically. But brass does require a blaze burner and it requires it to be heated. So you do need a blaze burner to mix copper and zinc together inside of a mixer, just like we have for our andesite alloy. However, this does require heating underneath it. So how do I go about doing that? Well, first you'd have to make yourself a blaze. You'd have to make yourself a blaze burner without the blaze in it. So to be able to do that, you would need the empty blaze burner, and then you would just right click either the blaze spawner in a fortress or right click a blaze to capture it. However, if we take a look at this, we can see that there is a villager, a mighty handsome villager. And this villager for 4 emeralds at level 3 will prompt us with a blaze burner, potentially. Now, this seems pretty amazing, but villagers in this pack, they do require special needs. So we are going to have to set aside a very specific building so that way this villager will actually like its environment. And this should be the most simple version of a basic house, like, right? This should be a basic villager home that should fit all of its needs. And now I think the only thing I need to get that particular villager to change is it just needs a drill. And so this is probably the most dangerous thing to have in here, but I think you'll be fine. Now, speaking of a villager, do you remember Stephanie from the first episode? I think we should go back and save her and then bring her back here where she'll hopefully have a permanent home. Yes, we're now adopting villagers. Ah, how cute. So back on another epic adventure. Aha, and we've arrived. Stephanie, I am coming to save you. You should be ready. I promise I am here. Oh, are you still here? That's the question. Stephanie? Ah, you are here. I should be able to, let's not talk about the logistics of what just happened, but I might have just put you into some sort of Pokeball. I hope you can't hear me. Tra-la-la. Onward. Oh, and look at this. Look. This is a chameleon. I think this is a part of the cold sweat mod. Yes. So apparently, if we were to kill this, it tells you in the quest that this will actually drop. It's hiding in the bushes. This should drop a very special thing that we can equip to our armor that will help us resist weather conditions. I feel really bad doing this though. Don't you run! Wait, did it? Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to actually kill it. You didn't see anything. After rereading that, apparently I was just supposed to capture it and it has a chance of dropping its molt once a day. And I just ended it. I hope I can find another one eventually. That was super adorable. Now this thing just showed up out of nowhere. Okay. Yep, I've got to take this thing out. What is that? So okay, that's the thing that was after us the other day. This thing I can now take care of effectively. What in the world? It's able to swim so well. I had to get off my horse. And it's just in broad daylight. Okay, Stephanie, I hope you're ready. I should be able to now place you in here. And, oh, you have converted already. You're a very handsome Stephanie. It's so good. And it looks like emeralds, you are not charging a whole lot. So that is awesome. So now I just need to grab my emerald stockpile. And it looks like I can buy zinc off of this guy as well. Okay, I'm really interested to see. I really like the idea of being able to create things off of villagers. That's such a neat idea, and I really, really like the idea of this. Making villagers even more useful. And honestly, the villager update was one of my favorite updates of all times. So I will take every chance I will get. Okay, level 3 is apparently where you have the ability to do this. So, ooh, blast furnace and torches. I'll buy some more andesite off of you, actually. Zinc, we can also buy later, but for right now, I'm more interested in that andesite, especially over torches. This level is where you have the chance. On the next level, any moment now. Any moment now. Did I not? Oh, want me one more chance? Is that the max? Oh, there you go. And yes, a blaze burner for 4 emeralds. That is fantastic. Oh, and we can also buy an encased fan. We're actually going to need a couple of these. So I might as well just buy them since I have plenty of emeralds that we found while looting. And hopefully this guy's just stays comfortable in here. I hope it can't open the fence gates though. That's the only thing. I just don't want them getting out and a potential raid group come in and just annihilate them. That's the only dangerous side about having it out in the open like this. There is a reason we put them in trading halls and don't actually, let them out, because it's not that we're cruel. It's just we just don't want them dying, which we're just keeping them very safe, like a protective mother. Now, I do want to kind of get this started with some simple automation where I can just put the items here, and then the item output goes here. And then I want the item output to go into an inventory. So now that we have a blaze burner, we can actually start producing the thing that's going to make automation so much easier for us. So let's go ahead and put the blaze burner here for right now. It's not going to do anything until we give it some fuel, but I'm going to put a hopper right here into the bottom, and a hopper will actually pull off the depot, and you can use this depot as a way to go down, but you can also use depots to go up, which is pretty cool utilizing these funnels, because the depot will actually allow you to pull the items off, just like you see here. So you can kind of think, if you put this on the side of a depot, then it will allow the items to be pulled off that way too. So there is a way to chain these to go up and to go down and all kinds of fun stuff. So at this point, we can now make brass, and this is kind of insane because typically you're required to have gone to the nether, but we just bypassed the nether entirely with our intuition skills. So let's go ahead and fuel this blaze burner. So you can just hold right click until the blaze burner in the top left, you can see its value goes up. It hits a point and then it will still continue to accept fuel and waste it, but it is going to be at that 500 second mark. And then we just need to put on one side, we need to put copper ingots and then zinc ingots. These will then go in, and this should output brass, which now enters us in to a new era of create. So you know what's cooler than brass? Having things processed for you basically for free. And just needs some rotational energy. And we can actually get some rotational energy specifically for this. And it doesn't have to be fast rotational energy. That's the cool part, because fans don't really require the speed to be very high. Now, with this being as early as I am in sort of this playthrough, this is going to be a perfect solution to this. Now, you can place these underground and stuff, but for right now, we are going to be placing these encased fans right here. And this should do every single process that is required. It's not going to be the fastest, because a way that you can make this faster is just by adding more fans that are blowing onto a single source. That will definitely make it a lot faster. Now, the faster you spin this doesn't make it faster. The faster you spin this just determines the distance that it'll actually push items and push entities, but not necessarily how quickly it will cook things. Now, I want to get some rotational energy over here. So what I'm actually going to do is use a large water wheel, just one of them, and you can actually place these on their side. If you didn't know that, they can be placed on their side. So this is going to be the perfect way to get our rotation to these blocks. And the way we're going to do that is by using a gearbox. So I'm going to take a regular gearbox, and this will allow me to get that rotation off of here. And then I'm going to run a shaft down this line right here that is connected to this gearbox. Now, this is where casings are going to shine. So encased chain drives are phenomenal for this. And that's because they will maintain the same rotation and still continue to carry it through the block, but they don't change directions, for example, like a gearbox. So you can maintain the same direction like this, and it'll pass through, but then these can rotate. So this can actually take the rotation direction and shift it, which is kind of nice and very, very useful for many create applications. And this lets us maintain the same rotational direction for all of these moving across. Now for the water placement, I just place a block right here to make sure it only rotates in one direction. And there we go. So it says wind maker, and that is actually blowing in the appropriate direction. If I put the water on the other side, that would then spin it backwards, and this can actually pull into itself. So it has a suck mode and it has a push mode, which is pretty darn neat. But we need the blow mode, this mode right here. So that is going to push air over whatever is in this block right here. Now I've not done this yet, but we are going to need a bucket of lava, and I don't know if this is going to heat me up. Okay, when I'm holding the bucket filled with lava. Oh, interesting. I'm surprised that wasn't built into the mod. It would totally make sense, like if it required me to have like a very specific, like, I don't know, glove or something. I'm probably giving ideas. I should stop. So now I should be good. I think for this spot right here, I'm probably going to put the lava, so we can actually have the water and lava. I'm going to kind of separate them. Right here, I will place a trapdoor, and trapdoors work really well with lava. And then for this, I am going to put a trapdoor on top. And then place the lava directly in here. So perfect. Now anything that's on this depot should get smelted. For example, a log that should turn into charcoal. So anything that has a normal recipe for smelting and for blast furnace recipes should get converted just like that. That is amazing. Okay, now right here we can do, let's do the campfire, right? And this will process things that are like cooking related. So if we want to cook meat, we can throw it on there. Soul campfires, and we got the soul sand, by the way, from a Ad Astra meteor. This can process and convert things in a bunch of different ways. For example, like squid ink, it can convert it into the glow ink. And there's many conversion recipes, which are kind of cool. And then last but not least, we are going to need another trapdoor set up here, here, just like the other side. And like that, even though we don't necessarily need it on the top, this is going to be the way to wash things. And there's a lot of different things we can wash. Concrete being a really awesome thing. You can just place concrete directly on here and it will wash the concrete. All of this is some really nice ways of processing items. Now, the really cool part about skipping the nether is, well, we can continue to progress on, because even though I don't have like a ton of soul sand, well, we can actually just make soul sand using the soul fire. And this is going to convert regular sand into soul sand. And then once we have that, we can move it over here to then be washed. And when we wash soul sand, there is a chance for us to get quartz. Now, I've already found some quartz through looting and stuff like that, which is pretty nice. But we are going to need it to make a deployer. Deployers require electron tubes, and I'm going to need some polished rose quartz. Rose quartz takes a little bit to get. Let me go ahead and put this right here and wash that new soul sand and produce some more. But yes, we're going to need a little bit of it. We don't need a whole lot. I need at least one deployer because I really want to automate casings. That's right, andesite casings. I want to get this automated. And this process is going to be pretty straightforward. It's just a little bit of redstone to make a quartz. And then what you can do is you can add some paper with some sand, and you'll get sandpaper. You can toss this on the ground and actually use the sandpaper on it, or you can put it in your offhand and it works the same way. Rose quartz itself is not actually what we needed. We just needed the polished version of the rose quartz. So we have to get it polished in order to make those tubes, which we are going to need. And we also need some iron plates. Would you look at that? From that one stack, we ended up getting 43 quartz and 2 gold nuggets. Now, this is going to be like full automation, as I'm not like automatically producing the whole andesite through the chain, but it is going to make life a little bit easier. So I don't have to manually make casing, because I know I haven't shown it, but to make casing, you basically do this. You place the log down, you strip the log, and then you right click the andesite alloy onto it and it converts it into a casing. This is a very manual process and is one of the first ones that I typically want to get automated. So let's go ahead and make this deployer and let's get this automated. All I need is a mechanical saw and I just need a deployer, and that's basically it. Now this automation contraption is probably going to be one of the more complex ones, and yes, my inventory is an absolute mess right now as I am slowly but surely working on figuring this all out, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. So I need a saw. Now the saw's mechanics are a little bit weird. This saw needs to rotate in the opposite direction of the belt. So if I want it to go right, this needs to be rotating to the left. And that is how this saw blade is going to essentially be spinning. And that means we need this going in an opposite direction. So we've got to find a way to change the rotation of this regardless of how our power is going to be spinning this. So the best way to do that is to just have two gearboxes. That makes plenty of sense. So whatever goes into this, it'll be spinning this way, like to the right. So it'll be spinning clockwise. And then this, after going through this gearbox, will then spin this counterclockwise. So it'll spin it the opposite direction. So we also still need to power the thing on the top. So right here is going to be a belt, just like that. And then we also need, let's see, we can use a log for right now. We're going to need a barrel or an inventory for something that it can go into as the final result. And so we can have that going right there. And then I need to, like I said, to get the rotational power from here going up. I love how in the middle of making an automation for making casings, I'm needing to make more and more casings. Oh, this is why I want to get it automated. Now for this task, you could, I guess, if you really wanted to, use a belt going vertically, because belts can extend up vertically. But keep in mind, the more belts you use in a build, the more laggy ultimately your whole area is going to get. Belts are incredibly laggy in the Create mod, unfortunately. The more of them you have, the more items they're holding, the worse it's going to be. So that's something to always keep in mind. But let's see, we got to get a deployer. Let's see, I think that's too high. So I think the deployer needs to go right above here. So I guess the best way to do it would be to place the deployer on this. And then that is going to be poking in the appropriate direction. I'm going to go ahead and put some shafts here. These are mostly to kind of balance things out. And then I'm going to use my encased chain drives on the back to send the power up. So this is pretty straightforward, just like this. Very ugly, but a lot of early mechanics with Create before you can start hiding things. They are going to look kind of mechanical. They're definitely not going to be quite pretty, that's for sure. But we should be able to get some rotation on here, and I'm just going to use some regular water wheels. The cool part about the water wheels is they're a bit faster, so the base speed of these water wheels should be more than enough to power this whole setup. And we might be able to get away with just one water wheel, and then we can make this very, very clean if that is going to work. And water wheels are pretty cool now, because all we have to do is just put one source of water, like right here, and that's all you need. And this whole thing should start spinning. Let's see if one water wheel is enough. It's probably not, but we'll see. The saw and both of these things combined at the base speed. Look at that. It actually is fast enough. So how are we going to get items onto the saw? Also, by the way, this is spinning the right way. So that's actually kind of a plus. The way that we're going to get this moved over is by placing this right here. I'm going to put a barrel. And then I am going to give this a funnel. And this is going to send the item onto the saw, and then the saw is going to carry on. Now, the saw can actually make multiple different things, so it's probably best to actually set your filter first. So I want to filter this saw and say, hey, only allow these items to pass through the saw. And only do this craft, because the saw can actually act like a stone cutter. So now whenever I put the logs in, it should start processing. Now, I also want to get this fed. So I was going to actually use a hopper for this, and we can make a very easy setup since this is not going to really require too much. We can just go ahead and put a hopper directly on top, and this is where our andesite alloy can go. So let's do like 16 for right now. And so I'm going to put 16 logs in here and 16 alloy up here. That's going to put the alloy in the hand. And then we can put the logs in like this. The log is going to get processed. And then this is going to come down. And it is going to convert it like that into an andesite casing. And then this is going to send into this barrel the andesite casing. Perfect. And now we've technically automated, which is kind of nice, andesite casings. I no longer have to make them by hand. And with that, I would say today has been a pretty productive day. I can now basically just smelt my food instantly, smelt any of the ores instantly. It's going to be very, very nice moving forward. But there's still a lot to do, and there's a lot of cool things that we can actually get our hands on before we take our trip into the Nether, which I think is going to be very challenging considering we have to worry about the high temperatures. And there's a whole mechanic wrapped around that. But guys, if you did enjoy, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, comment down below, what is your favorite contraption that you have built using the Create mod? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And with that, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Godfather Zeus. Thank you so much for your amazing support, not only on the Discord, but also here on YouTube as a YouTube member. Thank you so very much. And I do appreciate you very, very, very much. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.